Morning came early to the new champs as Grom wanted to waste no time on retrieving the skull. After checking at the local tavern, Grom had a lead on an old orc named Iskarin. Iskarin once entered the Tunnel of Death with a party of 12 and only 7 returned. Grom hoped that Iskarin would know some information on the location of the skull.
Open up, old-timer.
Zoldac yelled as he pounded on the old adobe hut. Iskarin lived on the eastern outskirts of the town, which wasn't all that important except that it meant he was one tough character. That part of town was known for wild animal attacks. But none of that was even going to faze Bloodgut's champion team. A scruffy voice came rattling out from behind the door.
All right, who is it? We need information on the Tunnel of Death.
Grom piped in. The doors slowly crept open.
The tunnel, you say? What do you want with that pit? Stay away.
Zuggi put his foot on the door.
We want the skull.
Iskarin belligerently allowed them in. It was a little tight for the large OG, but they all fit in the old man's hut.
I assume you're after that dingy skull of Korgath, the general.
Before anyone else could speak, he continued,
Now, where did I put that map?
Iskarin shuffled over to an old chest. He then pushed aside battle-worn armor and a sword and grabbed a crinkled roll of animal hide.
Hey, I knew I still had it. This guy's had it all right.
Zoldac mumbled to himself. Iskarin unraveled the roll. He took his knife and stabbed the top of the rolled map to hold it into place.
You see this lower level right here?
Pointing to the map.
This is where the crazy goblin shaman Zinlo set up shop. We didn't make it far in there before we ran into his traps. We were in search of old relics, but we ended up getting more than we bargained for. Several of our party succumbed to the traps, and others were mangled by foul creatures that stalked the tunnels. Some said that several of the creatures came from the Underworld. Others said they were Zinlo's experiments gone wrong. All I say is stay away from that heap. Think about it, you guys have a great future in the arena. I hate to see you junk that all up for some foolhardy treasure hunt.
Grom pondered for a moment as if he was thinking about changing his mind and forgetting about that mysterious cloak man's quest. Instead, he grabbed the map, thanked the old orc, and headed on his way.
Hey Grom, do you think that old crazy, might be trying to tell us something?
Zoldac interrupted Grom's pondering as they were walking over to Okosh's supply shop.
Well, Zoldac, my brother, if a thing isn't dangerous, it isn't worth going after,
replied Grom.
But why go after the skull when it could be long since disintegrated? Besides, we're famous. We can get all the battling action you can handle.
Grom was surprised by his brother's logic, however. Grom had a hunch that this quest could mean major currency in the form of gold. Also, Grom was the type that was always looking for a better deal. Perhaps they would find something useful in the tunnel, and if not, it was good practice. While Grom and Zoldac purchased supplies, Zuggi and OG worked on their normal practice routines. Zuggi combined his practice with a little bit of service to an orc lady trying to catch some birds for food. Zuggi easily took care of that problem. OG, meanwhile, was chasing after a small woodland creature. He was hoping to catch it for a snack. OG swung his maul and smashed the creature flat. OG looked at it a bit confused and then ate it like a pancake.
Good squish.
After they loaded OG up with the supplies, the Axe Hammer team headed west to the coast where Grom hoped to secure passage to the island where the tunnel was located. The day-and-a-half journey to the coastal village of Karnash came and went rather uneventfully, except for when OG and Zoldac tried to take eggs from several nesting phoenixes. They ended up getting cooked more than the eggs. Oh, and there was the time Zuggi tried to help them get honey from a nest of buzzing bees, when he cut the nest from the tree with an axe. OG was still scratching his bumpy sores from that. In Karnash, Grom found an old fisherman who had a few boats for rent. The salty old orc sized up the party and said,
"Well, it looks like you're going to need the deluxe model. This old beauty over here."
He pointed at a fairly large boat.
"She'll get you across that old waters, and she'll get you that cursed old island. She ain't never gone down yet." Hehe.
Grom replied,
"How much is that going to cost us?" For a couple nights stay, a couple nice folk like you, I could swing a deal for 200.
Grom thought to himself. That price seemed a little high to him. He thought,
"Let's try a model down." "Well, I can see you're a miserly little orc. The next model won't hold all 4 of you. It'll only hold about 3. What with the weight of your big lug over there."
Grom muttered.
"How much is going to cost me?" "Well, now, I think, I'll let you have it for 100 shiny ones."
Grom's mind was spinning. So on the one hand, if they took the small boat, it could be a little dicey. But on the other hand, feeling the weight of his coin purse, he made a decision.